Hello everyone and welcome back to another episode on the Supercoach YouTube channel for the round 3 review. This week we scored 1866, which I thought was going to be a decent score, and then sort of checked the rankings and it's only in the top 21%. So not the greatest in the end. We did go up in the ranks, but not hard when you rank 40,000 to go up in the ranks. So we're at top 17% now. Hopefully we can just keep plotting along, make some better upgrades, better captain choices, win rookie roulette, and keep going up in the ranks. But total score 58.96. I think the leader's at like 6,500, so we're already way behind there. But let's check out the round 3 team of the week, which is Rockstar, Sinclair, Ash, Naz, Geordie Clark, McKercher and Grill. Pretty solid backline. He's got all 99k rookies on the bench. I wonder if he made this team purely to win the overall rank last week. Because his total score is 4,000, so he didn't have a round 1 score. So he made his team just after round 1. I wonder if he actually genuinely made this team purely to try and win this week. If that's what he's done, fair play. That's what he's done and he's won it. So Butters, Dacos, Baz, Merritt, Callahan, then Blamires, Watkins, Murdoch, and then this is not a team that's going to finish highly in the overall ranks. Jackson, McAndrew, Sheasel, Pickett, Flanders, Cook, Robertson, Marshall, Dersma. I mean, he's got a lot of players that like a decent classic picks, but having this many DMPs on the bench, I don't know. Interesting. I don't know how much we can sort of look into this. If his strategy was to win this week and win $1,000, well, he's done that. He's probably going to win more money than me at the end of the season. So, interesting. Okay, I think we move on from that to the number 1 team overall, which is Diamond Cutter by Dean. Sinclair, Ash, Clark, Windsor, Sarong, Lindsay, Jakes and Dirksen. So he's got Donut there. Pretty similar backline to me, about half the same players, so not too different. Butters, Sarong, Merritt, Oliver. Oliver's been a decent starting pick for the price that he was. Bruin, Dersma. Yeah, Dersma's actually turned out to be a really good pick as a rookie. Started at 200. He's already got like 70k, 60k, and he's averaging 90 over his first 3 weeks. He just didn't look like that player in the preseason. So he didn't look like a $200,000 player to start, but he's turned out to be, a really good pick. So probably one that we missed. Jagger, Blamires, Bont, Watkins, and another donut on the bench. He's got 3 donuts on the bench. Overall rank 1. He scored 457th overall this round, and he had Bont on the bench. That's pretty crazy. If Bont's playing and he plays, he probably gets a higher rank as well. Gorn, captain. McAndrew with Reedy on the bench. Sheasel, Pickett, Bolton. Yeah, Bolton and Pickett, both big scorers this week. Flanders, Gothard, Robertson, Lombard, White, and Duff Tytler at flex. I wonder if he brought Duff Tytler in this week. So what his overall plan is to move Kalani, White to R3. I'm assuming he's going to trade Reedy and Duff Tytler at some point then. He's got another loophole option. And Dirksen, I assume he's just hoping that he gets a game at some point. He's set up really well to make some side grades. So he's got no Hayden Young and no Darcy Parish. He doesn't have any mid prices. Oh, he's got Windsor, but he's done alright. Probably can move him on. Problem is our teams are like half the same. He's actually got quite a different team. Alright, we'll jump into my team, so we'll see how... Just undo all these changes. This is how I lined up last week. Sinclair, Ash. I brought in Ash this week against Collingwood. I thought that Collingwood's backline leaks a lot of points. which they do. A lot of disposals. I thought Ash would be the beneficiary of them. Turns out it went to Whitfield. I think he scored like 140 something, had 39 touches. So, right idea, wrong player. But Ash will be a long-term keeper, I think, this year. Gets a lot of cheap ball. Isn't afraid to run, carry, take the kicks on. So when they pay off, he'll score well. But on turnover, it could hurt him pretty badly. Zorko, just 96, just take that, I guess. Hopefully he has some better spike scores. I think he had a bit of a run with roll or had some attention from the Saints. So, started off really slow in the game, but built his way into it once Brisbane started taking over. So hopefully you can just continue that. Not having Geordie Clark there is probably going to hurt instead, or even Josh Dacos this week. Hopefully he's got Collingwood this week, and like I said, Collingwood league points to halfbacks. So hopefully Zorko can go big for us. Sam Grill, Josh Lindsay both scored really well. Had Selwood as the loophole, the captain, and Jackson Strong on bench. So 3 bye players had to cop that. Midfield had Butters, Dacos, Sarong, Callahan, Walsh all ton up. So that's fine. Happy with that. Didn't have the VC on any of them. Which Nick would have been nice to have, but ended up going Sheasel. We had Butters as a fallback, but Sheasel went well enough. Blamires, Watkins on the bench, and Sharp, who did not play. Hopefully he comes back. Wasn't able to loophole there. Rux, McAndrew, and Edwards. Edwards, it's better than ZZ, who got dropped, so at least he played, but I wouldn't be surprised if Edwards gets dropped this week. And McAndrew didn't play that well at all. 68. Yeah, I would have liked a better score. Who did they play? I can't remember who they played anymore. Geelong. Oh, they played each other, that's right. Played Geelong against Edwards. I would have expected a lot more from him. Only the 100 points combined between the two rucks is a bit lower than what the season average has been for rucks. So, and then Riley O'Brien apparently killed it in the twos. So I wouldn't be surprised if he gets recalled this week as well, especially with Fremantle having Sean Darcy and Luke Jackson. They may play 2 rucks. If that's the case, I would like to get McAndrew to R3 at some point soon. I don't think he's going to be that on-field option in the near future, especially if Riley O'Brien does come back. So, that's one that I'll be looking at, trying to facilitate that move. In the forward line, she's a 145 as vice captain. Take that every day. Really happy with that I actually got a loophole to work for once. Hopefully I can get a few more, but it's nice to not have to stress on the captaincy with a failed vice captain, so take that. Flanders 93, Budrick didn't play because Lombard and Marshall also didn't play, so again 1 short. Devrob 53, it was on like single figures at halftime, so to get a 50 I'll actually take that, but suspended in the meantime, so he's out this week. He also had a tagging role. He was running with Zach Butters for most of the game, and it just doesn't have the tank to keep up with the Zach Butters. So he was always a step behind the ball, always a play behind, and didn't get his hands on it as much as what he did the first couple of weeks. So hopefully after this week off, he comes back and he plays more of a hunt the ball role, because I don't love the tagging role for him or for Supercoach. So hopefully that's just a 1 week thing. Philippou 69, that's fine. Hopefully sort of kickstarts a bit of better scoring. I don't not want to VC him, that's fine. Break even of 6. He's obviously got the buy, so it won't change this week, but still has a really low break even, has money to make. Scored, what did he score? So 27 and a 42. So that 27 rolls out of his average now. So he's got a 42 and a 69. If he can score well next week against Port, he'll have a 69 and whatever he scores. So he can kickstart that cash gen. Then he's got Adelaide, then West Coast and Carlton, a couple of easier matchups for him. So I like to keep him for a bit longer. Hopefully he can make it to 250, maybe 300k, and then we can move him on. I don't want him in the team for too long. I think he's a bit of a liability, but yeah, if he can make a bit more money before we move him on, that'd be handy. Brought in Sherry this week as well. I just needed a downgrade option and a healthy body to play. Looked really good in the first week. Thought he'd be able to back it up a bit more than what he did. Hopefully he can hold against Adelaide. Otherwise, we've just traded in a donut, which I don't love, but it is what it is. Lombard and Marshall didn't play, like I said, and Hayden Young, he also didn't play. Some of you are probably asking why Hayden Young's on the field when you've got playing players on the bench. I actually didn't have Hayden Young here. I had traded him. And just before the North Melbourne game last week, I reversed trades and changed the VC and all that sort of stuff, and then forgot to trade out. So the reason why I went Sherry as well was to obviously create some salary cap left over, which would have let me trade Hayden Young to Tristan Cherry, who I would have vice captained. So that would have been a disaster trade in hindsight. But at the time, it would have been a really good idea, and that was the plan. Trade him in vice captain against Essendon and Blackiston, where he probably should have dominated at quarter time. I was watching the game, and he was on like 40 something at quarter time, and I was just thinking to myself, yeah, this is going to be another 150 plus. I've just ruined the season. Major hate watch on Sherry. To hopefully he doesn't score well. I turned the game off. I didn't even want to watch it. I checked back in at 3/4 time and he's still on about 40 something. So I was silently excited that he'd only scored like nothing in those 2 quarters, but obviously post game scored like a 60 something, and that incident of him rubbing his own blood on Andy McGrath sent him in hot water, which he's been dealt 3-week suspension. So yeah, hindsight's a funny thing. I made a mistake not trading him in, and it's actually turned out in the better for me. So it's one of those things in Supercoach that really shouldn't have benefited from. I should have been punished for not making the trade in the first place, but somehow it's turned out in my favour, and all the coaches that traded in Cherry this week for the same reasons. 3-week suspension. Not sure if you hold or trade him out. He's going to miss games against Carlton, which is like Pittonet and Reedy if he comes back. Misses against Brisbane, who have no ruckman at Barossa, so a small ground, plenty of stoppages, and also misses against Richmond, which is a no-nank ruckman at Marvel. So misses 3 really good scoring opportunities. Comes back against Port. Wrong team. Against Giants. And Briggs is not a very good ruckman. So scoring-wise in Supercoach, not a very good ruckman. So still has the opportunity to score well then. You just got to hold him for 3 weeks. Then moves on to Geelong, who again have no ruckman. They don't play a ruckman. Then Grundy. So he still comes back for 2 good matchups. You just miss him for 3 good ones as well. And at 700k or thereabouts, can you afford to sit that on your bench for 3 weeks, or are you better off to move that and try and get him back? With the way that all the injuries have gone this year, we're already lower on luxury trades than we would like. All these hamstrings and soft tissue injuries forcing us to trade out now during rookie correction stage and upgrade stage. We're just using luxury trades right now. So can you afford another one this early in the season? Do you need to hold it? I think 3 weeks is a trade, especially this early in the season. You've got time to get him back. He's got a 60 something and he's rolling break even for 2 weeks. So his price will come down at least those 2 weeks. Unless he goes massive against Briggs and then whoever they're playing after, I forget already. Geelong. So it probably could go big and kickstart that cash gen again, but at least you'll have someone else who's been making cash and or scoring for 5 weeks as opposed to 2 weeks. So in terms of how we line up this week, obviously Sinclair has the bye, so he gets moved to the bench. Lockie Ash has a bye, so he gets moved to the bench. Finn has a bye, so he gets moved to the bench. English we want on. I think Edwards gets dropped, so move him to the bench. Flanders has a bye and Dev Rob's suspended. And then Hayden Young's injured as well, so we move him. So looking at it, we can have almost a full team. Obviously, one Tom Marsh is injured, so we're 2 down with no trades, but still don't love that team. So looking at trades, I think we finally trade Hayden Young out. I was meant to do it last week, ended up holding by accident. He's still 1 to 2 weeks away. So now, do I just hold him? I've held him for 2 weeks unintentionally, so do I just hold him now for good, or do I get rid of him? I think I have to get rid of him. I don't think he, even if he comes back, he's not going to score consistently high for the rest of the season. There's the chance of re-injury. I think they got to move him out of the midfield as well. Just maybe to that half-back, or hopefully not, but maybe half-forward role as well. Just to preserve his body a little longer, which would mean his scoring potential goes down as well. He hasn't got the best break even anyway, 78, so he's not making any money as that mid-price that we would have liked. So I think he's got to go, and the man I'm bringing in is none other than the Bont. He's 710k. I know it's a lot. I don't want to trade in anyone over 700 this season, but he's got Essendon this week, which very much could be close to a 200 game. He's 140, 170 the last 2 times he's played them. So assume that's going to be a big score. Then has Hawthorn and Geelong, who he can score well against as well. He's scored 100, 140, 120. Yeah, so scores well against them. And it's just the Bont. Very rarely are you going to win overall Supercoach if you haven't got Bont on your team. So yeah, that's definitely one that I want to bring in. And someone else I also want to trade out is Darcy Parish. I don't think he's got the tank. He got sucked into the preseason hype of him playing a lot more midfield, high tog, won the ball a lot more. But as soon as this proper season started, his tog's gone right down, doesn't win as much ball. Essendon are not very good. They don't get enough of the ball or the scoring for anyone to own any Essendon players. So except for maybe Zach Merritt. So get me out of this pick. Who I trade him to though? Could go someone like a Shea Bolton. Could go with Sam Darcy against Essendon. Could score really well. Should score really well. Shea Bolton, probably a top 6 forward come end of year. So do you get him now while he's arguably one of the cheapest it'll be at the start this whole year? And then we're just scrolling. All these picks are just going to be iffy picks. Dan Houston, I'm glad I didn't go there last week. That could have really come back to bite. Colby could be a good option. Scored 118, was back to that half-back role, 35 disposals. If he keeps that roll up that he had last week, I could actually see bringing him in as a good option. Scored 60 and 78 against the 2 weaker sides, but Essendon also weak score 120. Has Carlton this week. Could score really well under the lid. Then has Lions at Barossa. Richmond, again, another weak team. So, yeah, do I bring in Colby? If I bring Colby in, let's say I do those trades, and then move McKercher to the back line for probably Grill with the DPP at flex. I like that. Bont comes onto the field for Watkins. Watkins, Blamires, can I loophole any of them? Yep. Probably swap Blamires with Finn. Loophole Blamires and Watkins there with Finn. And that's probably all I can do. That leaves me just two non-playing players still. So 20 out of 18. So 2 scores will drop off. That's fine. Not using a boost. It's already been activated. Okay, so I still haven't used a boost yet. I only used the 5 trades. So holding on to a few more trades than a lot of other teams early. I find end of the season really run out of trades pretty quickly. Trying to upgrade throughout the middle of the year, especially when there's buys, mid-season buys where you get up to 4 trades, you can really burn through them. Players' prices haven't changed too much just yet to upgrade as well, so just making all these corrections right now. With this team, if this is what I go with, I'd love to captain Bont against Essendon. I think, like I said, he's going to go 150 plus quite easily. Vice captain on... I don't hate the Sheasel against Carlton. Carlton don't typically run with anyone, so I could see Sheasel going a big score again. Butters against Richmond could score well. I don't think Richmond have been tagging players at the start of the season, so Butters could go quite well for me as well. Nick against Brisbane or even Soren against Adelaide, I don't mind. But I'm probably leaning more towards either Butters against Richmond or Sheasel against Carlton. So, whichever way I land. Hopefully they go well enough. I think I'd need to take at least a 130, 140 to take it this week, because Bont against Essendon I think is just guaranteed to go sort of 140, 150 plus. So I'd have to go pretty well to get that. In terms of what my future team looks like and what sort of direction I want to head in, let's just have a look at all the players. We'll go by average. Petrarca now listed as only sort of 3 weeks away. I think when he comes back, give him a week or so just to see how he looks. And then I think we definitely want to bring him in. Sherry and Gawn definitely need at least one of them, if not both, using the other at flex with English in the ruck. I think between the 3 of those, you want at least 2 of them. Maybe Jackson if you've already got him. So there's another couple trades, probably 2 to 3 trades per player. Midfield, Holmes, he's a really good pick if you want to go there. I recommend going there. Parker is playing off the half back now and almost like their general down back. Scored the 160 this week. Really, really good score from Luke Parker, turning the clock back. It's strange. So massive score against Port, then a low score against West Coast, massive score against Essendon. It's going to be like that all season. He's midfield only now, so I wouldn't go there just yet, but it looks like he'll get defender status come end of round 6. So maybe top 8, top 10 defender. He's underpriced right now if he's going to be scoring that high, but not a pick that I'm going to go with. I just don't want to sit through that. So go there if you want, but not for me. With Jackson, like I said, I think there's just a few other rucks ahead of him. If he gets some midfield ruck DPP, he might be worth having at the flex just to open up your team a little bit more. If that's the case, I'll seriously consider it. But for now, I think I'll focus on Gawn and then maybe Sherry when he comes back. Baz, I want Baz as my next target, I think. Has a low break even because of that 170. I'd love to go there this week, but I think I'm just better off going Bont, especially matchup dependent this week. I save 80k by going to Baz. I'd have to look and see what that would open up, whether McKercher and Bont or Baz and whoever, and then make a decision on that. LDU's been a great pick from the start of the season. Josh Dacos, good game. Really killed Houston's scoring this week. He sort of did everything that we wanted Houston to do. So that wasn't fantastic for Houston newly owners. Shea Bolton, 130, like I said, could be a top 6 forward. Took Miller looking like getting forward status as well. If he does, he'll definitely be an upgrade target in the forward line. Errol, if he comes back, he's end of season. I think that's just a side grade if you need to at the end of the season. Josh Worrell seems to be carrying some sort of injury, so just keep an eye on that one. Ed Richards, hasn't really returned for a 600k start. Neither has Noah Anderson, but I think both of them will be good long-term picks. Geordie Clark, 560, I think he's worth getting. Medium break-even. And then you sort of get down into some iffy picks. Supercoach is interesting, 240, scored 95 and 100 and something last week. So, yeah, could be interesting. Whitfield, Cozzy's going to have these games where he dominates and is best on ground by a mile and will score really well. But he'll also have these poor performances as well. It's just the type of player he is, the type of role he's in. So take the high ceilings and take the flaws as well. But yeah, exciting player to watch. Exciting player to have in your side. Can win you a game, but can also lose you a game. 20% owned. Yeah, okay, so he's pretty highly owned. Yeah, so that's probably it for trading targets for now. I've got all of the common players, and I'm so far out of the top. I miss Cook. I didn't think he'd be able to score that well, but he did. I'm so far out of the top 20. Top 20% was it? But I've got all the same players as them, so yeah. Not sure what to do from here. Most people going Parrish to Bont. Yep. Cherry to Gorn. If you could facilitate both of those trades, I think that's what you do this week. That's just going to score you so many more points, not only this week, but in the future as well. Cherry down to Steen, that's a big risk for those coaches. Cherry to Lukosius, that's a risk. You're just going to have to trade both these players out. So you're trading a full primo to a stepping stone. And I don't know if that's best practice right now. I think you're better off going primo for primo, set, forget, one trade and done. Anyway, not the greatest week for me again. I thought it was a decent week at 1866, much better than last week, but yeah, still not the greatest. This week, we'll see how we go. Just want to get back to 422s, get these players actually making some money, and then the real game starts. So yeah, these early season buys just throw so many chaos, and for some reason this year I've decided to trade into players with a buy as opposed to out of players with a buy. So not fantastic, not the best. Good luck to everyone this week. Price rises, price changes still continue to happen. Hopefully you avoided the Cherry mishap. If you did, well done to you. If you didn't, good luck with whatever you do with him, trade or hold. I'd be going to Gorn if I had him, but I don't, so lucky me. That's going to do it. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next week.